Due to the explosion of the human population, elephants are confined to a small fraction of their historical range. The African elephant has dropped greatly to less than 1 million today. It is easy to attribute this decline due to loss of land, but the real cause is much worse. Elephant poaching. Dun dun dun. 5, 4, 3, 2. This is Karen behind the camera. This is Erin Best on my left. This is Meg on my right. And this is the
Ivory Report. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Ivory Report. I'm Erin Best. This is Meg Bonnie. And tonight, we're reporting to you from Tanzania. Tonight, we want to discuss the elephant ivory trade.
Which is illegal, by the way.
Illegal. So, who cares, right? I mean, elephants.
I care.
All right, that's fair. Elephants are crucial to this world. They're beautiful. They're beautiful.
They're cute. They're sexy.
Honestly, I love elephants. Hey, do you know what you call an elephant? That doesn't matter.
But they all matter. All elephant lives matter.
I think.
not if they're
Irrelevant. All right. Okay. So, Meg, why does this elephant ivory trade matter to us?
Because elephant poaching is a huge crisis worldwide, especially in Africa, where the African elephant population is greatly affected.
Can you prove that?
Especially in Tanzania, where the
prove
population is less than 20,000.
20,000? Well, that's quite low for an elephant population.
Yeah, no shit.
Wow.
That's quite low for most populations.
So, what do you think we should do with this issue?
I don't really know. I think that we should stop poaching.
I have an answer.
What's your idea, Erin?
I think we need to legalize the international ivory trade for African elephants.
But why would we do that?
Why wouldn't we?
I agree with Erin.
I mean,
Retweet.
when you look at it, many of the African governments have a surplus of ivory just taking up space in some type of storage unit, some type of government facility, when ivory is extremely profitable, right? So, for example, you take that ivory and you redistribute it into the market, you tag it, you make it certifiable, you know that this ivory is okay to sell and buy.
So would it only be the ivory that we have?
So
Right.
this is where it gets a little tricky, but don't worry, I have a plan. So you need to recognize that to do this, we need some type of international council or international body to set regulations, right? It's important that we differentiate between poaching elephants for ivory and elderly elephants that have died and are in possession of their ivory. So
like NATO? Okay, Erin, so tell me this. How do we ensure that the policies and regulations put in place by this international council will improve African economies while also ensuring that poachers will not decimate the elephant population?
is that a GRE word? It's a good one. Well, since you've asked, we've actually come up with this pretty intricate plan. So the government is already in possession of the ivory, as I previously mentioned. So that is already one stake that the government holds. The next step would be to have those who are in possession of their own ivory to bring it and sell it directly to the government. By selling it directly to the government is able to certify it so that
all those elephants. Oh shit!
Alright. So, individuals are going to need to sell their ivory directly to the government. When they do this, they're going to need to provide some information, such as things that you would find on a driver's license, right? Your name, your birthday, your address. The next thing they'll need to provide is how the elephant died. While this might not be the best option to encourage the truth of people, it's one of the only ways that we have found so far to curb poaching in those ways of regulations. one thing that we are really pushing for, and some countries have already began instituting within their governments, is a hunting license. So they'll need to provide a hunting license to prove that they have been approved by the country and the government to hunt these elephants.
Okay, but we have to make sure that it's not like how easy it is to get a gun in Texas, because that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous, yeah. Alright. So, after they provide all this information, they'll be put on a master list, right? So they'll have every single individual person, how much ivory they have sold to the government. And we'll be able to keep track of people who are selling ivory to the government repeatedly, right?
So we'll be like, John Doe, he sold
3 times in 2 weeks seems like a bit much. So you get the point.
Okay.
So, in turn, the government possesses all this ivory. And with this possession, they can put their stamp of approval, in a sense, on the ivory, making it certifiable, to let people know that this ivory has been approved by the government, right? And after the government approves this ivory, they in turn turn around and they sell it to third-party vendors, right? It's all about improving the economy and finding ways to fund the government, fund the individual. We can't change economic systems, but we can improve how we make money.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And so now, with these certifiable tracks and things like that on the ivory becomes traceable, similar to a gun, unless you filed off the serial number. But when this ivory is certifiable and trackable, businesses can sell, like poached free, right? So when...
Can you do that one more time?
Businesses can sell for poached free ivory, right? So similar to when a business sells, like, cage-free eggs, fair trade coffee, things like that. And so, while this may not be the perfect method yet, it's obviously still being worked out. This is just one step we can take to increase the economies of our governments, for governments that are struggling, but also curb the black market, right? Because the black market is making millions off of the ivory trade.
And body parts.
And body parts. Do you know how much you can sell a kidney for? Because it's a lot. It's a lot. But, you know, if we take away that money from the black market and we're able to fund government programs, we can fund conservation efforts, monies can be put into schools. I think it's a risk we need to be willing to take as a government, as a country.
It's a smart idea.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Meg and I came up with it. Really, just me.
I just want the elephants.
And you do, and that's the thing.
I do understand.
But we also need to
appreciate your explanation.
But we need to make sure we're taking care of the people, right? Because when it comes down to it, we care about ourselves more than we care about anything else. And so these people,
humans suck.
These people who are living in villages that are being overrun by elephants, how do they fare?
Meg, do it again.
Humans suck. True. Like John Ralph.
I agree, Erin.
Thank you so much for explaining to our viewers a way that we could have a legal ivory trade.
That's what I'm here for.
But would you mind if you wrap it up in just a short summary so that it's kind of
understandable,
dumbed down for some of our
real quick
dumber viewers?
Ivory trade. Continue on your ivory trade for dummies.
All right, let me sum up real quick for you. First off, humans are trash, and there's no way that we're going to be able to successfully curb poaching across the world. But there are ways that we, as governments, as countries, are able to take ivory that is being taken and use it for our benefits. It's not fair that the black market gets to profit millions of dollars that are illegal when we have schools that are lacking the necessary resources to educate their students. We have areas where once tourists came, but we can't conserve those areas anymore because we lack the necessary funds. And 3, one that I didn't really mention when we discussed, but our governments are being corrupted. They're being bought out. People are only doing things for the money. But by setting up this legal international ivory trade, we can attempt to curb these issues and we can change the world. We can aid ourselves, aid our friends, our neighbors, our governments. We can help make this place better and help the elephants. And who doesn't want to help the elephants?
What's that one song? We are the world.
We are
the people. We are the
elephants.
children.
The elephants.
And that, ladies and gentlemen,
is the Ivory Report.
whoever is watching.
Bronchitis.
Wimba way, a wimba way, a wimba way, a wimba.